It's been a pretty good experience so far. I just been out there trying to get better myself and just hone in on my techniques and just work on what I know I need to work on, and also at the same time trying to encourage younger guys at the same time. I mean, it's going well so far. It's definitely got to pick up a lot. We had to come to Jesus. I mean, it's definitely got to pick up a lot because we have a lot of openings we have to fill. A lot of guys that left, a lot of guys that graduated. So we have to get those guys stepping into those new roles, and it's been going well though.
Okay, there's a reason why you came back. I'm sure one of those was you felt like you can get better yourself. What are some of those areas you thought you could improve on?
Well, I definitely feel like I can get better myself. I felt like I needed to work on just my body development, just strength in general, lower body and upper body. Just being smarter in the game, not having limiting my mental errors and just not making mistakes because I don't know what I'm doing. Making mistakes because it's something new that's happened to me. That's what I want. That's what I want to start doing. I don't want to make mistakes at all, but in the bigger scheme of things, I just want to minimize mistakes and just just hone in on what I have to do.
What was the decision process like deciding if you're going to come back or return pro?
Well, to be honest, this is one of those situations that the guys go through every day, and this isn't a battle that starts after the last game. This is something that goes on throughout the whole season. You have people trying to contact you. You have people telling you what you should do, what you shouldn't do. And, I had to shut a lot of that out. And I leaned on the people who I trusted the most. I asked my parents. I talked to them. I got their opinions. They wanted me to finish school, but they were going to support me with whatever I did. And, my coaches were the same way. They gave me the pros and the cons. And, I feel like, I could have left it and made a little splash in the draft this year, I feel, maybe. But, God, He put on my heart to come back. And, at the end of the day, I ultimately made that decision. So, I feel like it's going to be a good one.
With them telling you kind of both sides of it, how much does that make you want to work for this team, knowing that the coaches weren't just trying to push you to come back here? They're laying it out all for you.
Well, I've always had a great level of respect for my coaches. Coach Fisher and Coach Trick, who I work with the closest, they're the ones who I leaned on, who I talked to. Coach Trick's one of those guys, you might not always like what he has to say, but, you're going to respect it because he's not lying. He's going to keep it 100. So I leaned on those two guys and my family, and I prayed about it, and I made a good decision.
When did you make that decision?
I made a decision. To be honest, within myself, I made a decision during the season that I was coming back. But, I'll battle with myself so much back and forth. Some days I feel like I'm ready. Some days I feel like I need to stay. It's just, and it'll eat you up. But, I ultimately made a decision probably around the first week of school we got back. I went into Coach Fisher's office and I talked to him, and we had another conversation about the situation, and I told him, I said, Coach, I want to come back, and the rest is history.
Fisher and Trick are pretty excited when you told them you were coming back.
Oh, I mean, this is a business, so at the end of the day, whether I came back or stayed, they would have to deal with the decision either way. But I'm definitely sure that they're happy, excited that I came back, and so am I. I love these guys on this team. I mean, it's something special going on at Florida State. We just have to go and just continue to build on what we've built this program up to the last few years since I've been here. You just want to keep progressing and keep getting better.
You're not the only one to decide to come back on the line. You guys returned just about everybody except for Stork. How do you guys look so far?
We've been looking good. I feel like, like I said, the biggest thing, because it's 4 seniors out there, was 5 seniors out there. So, I mean, the biggest thing is just minimizing those mental errors and just, learning to play together, getting that chemistry, making the calls, and just talking and communicating amongst each other on the line. And, that's the biggest test that we've had this spring, guys, being used to something different, Because at the center spot, Stewart was a great leader. He talked, he played, he did it all. Austin, he's a smart kid and he does it all too, but it's just different. It's different playing with different people, and that's one of the biggest things that we're trying to overcome this spring as an O-line.
What have you seen out of the new guy, Kareem R, over his first couple of days of practice? He seems like a pretty physical, big guy in there on the line.
Yeah, Kareem's definitely going to be a great player one day. He's very physical, and he ain't scared to hit nobody. I can tell you that much. He has to work on his technique. You know, everybody does. Everybody does. He has to be as sharp as possible. Because any given day he can be called up to he can be called up on the play. So I mean, he's doing a great job at just treading these waters and just getting acclimated to what's going on within Coach Trigger's system.
You're one of the oldest guys on the team now. How sorry to break the news to you. How is that stepping into that leadership role and being one of the more seasoned veterans on this team?
Well, I got a false image of what I thought a leader was a long time ago, and now, I've never been one of the guys who like to talk a lot. I mean, I joke around with the guys off the field and on the field sometimes, but I think the biggest way that I lead is by example, and so that's what I'm going to continue to try to do. It's definitely different being one of the older guys on the team, seeing as I was the youngest guy that came in when I was a freshman. So I mean, it's different. It's different, but I'm enjoying it, embracing it. It's my last year. I'm just trying to go out there and just do the best job I can do and just do what I have to do for this team, and everybody else is just gonna fall in line.
What have you seen out of Bobby Hart so far this spring, improving and working on?
Bobby's always been a great player. He's always been tremendously smart. The biggest thing I've seen him work on this spring is just consistency, along with myself. That's the big thing I've been working on, consistency, and that's what we're trying to do. Because the guys in the middle, they always held it down. It wasn't much that got through them, but on the flanks is where we had most of our problems this past season and the season before as well. Outside blitzes, and that's what we're trying to work on. Just being consistent, knowing what we have to do, because once we know what we have to do, we don't get beat, and that's one thing I've noticed. When there's any indecision or any kind of confusion, then that's when you second guess yourself, and that's when you make mental errors, and that's what we're trying to minimize.
They had Bobby and Reuben Carter working some at center today and over the last couple of days. Is that just Jimbo cross training or something that he's looking at them doing maybe?
I mean, guys have to be ready to play multiple positions. Definitely from. It's going to help. It's going to help both of those guys in the long run with their careers. And also, we don't have a lot of depth right now. We have a lot of young guys coming in this summer, and that's what we're trying to, we're trying to, I won't say get through, because at the same time, these guys are trying to perfect what they're doing. So, it's a great tool to have in your back pocket to be able to play another position. So, those guys are doing a great job.
All right, you guys good?